Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today we're going to go over the vocabulary words and pictures for second grade journeys, lesson 24. And our anchor text or story is the folktale Half Chicken. So for this lesson, we're going to turn and talk. That means I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to think about your answer. Then you're going to pair up with a partner at home, or you can be my virtual partner. And you're going to share out your thinking in a complete sentence or sentences. So for this lesson, you will need a pencil and a piece of paper or journal page. You're going to divide the paper into 3 equal parts, 1, 2, 3, or thirds. And you're going to write your numbers 1 to 8. And for each number, you're going to write the vocabulary word. In the second column, I want you to write the synonym. And a synonym is a word that means the same or is similar, just like combine is a synonym for mix. They mean the same thing. If you don't catch the synonym, you can write the word a second time. And in the third column, I want you to draw a picture to help you remember it. So here's your learning target. I can use pictures and context clues to help me understand important words from the folktale Half Chicken. And here's your next learning target. I can talk about the vocabulary words and pictures. Success criteria. That means how will you know you're successful at reaching your learning targets? The learning targets of being able to use pictures and context clues to understand important words from the folktale, and the other learning target, talking about the vocabulary words and pictures. Well, here are your steps to success. We're going to reach those learning targets one step at a time. Number one, I will look closely at each group of pictures. Number two, I will say what I notice about the pictures. How are they the same or similar? Number three, I will read each word in its definition. Number four, I will write each word 1 to 2 times, a synonym, and draw a quick picture or sketch. Turn and talk rules. If you have a partner at home, number one, eye to eye, knee to knee, make sure you are looking and facing the speaker. Number two, first one person talks, the other person listens. Three, then the next person talks, the other person listens. Four, do not talk too long on your turn, or your partner will not have time to have a turn. I'm going to ask you the same questions for each group of pictures. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see, and tell me what you notice. And how are they all the same or similar? And you'll say, they all. I'm also going to ask whether you agree. And if so, if you agree with your partner or me, you can say, I agree with you, Mrs. Pearson, because, and tell me why. Or you can disagree and you can say, I disagree with you because, and tell me why. Here's your first group of pictures. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice someone is rolling balls down a hill. In the second picture, I notice a man is stuck in a big snowball, rumbling or tumbling down the hill. In the next picture, I notice someone doing a front somersault. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They all, well, they all show tumbling. The root word is tumble, and then there's an ing at the end. Tumbling, 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 tumbling. Tumbling means turning over and over, falling, turning over and over, falling. A synonym or word that means the same is turning and falling, turning and falling. Acrobat. This acrobat is tumbling through the air. You could also say this acrobat is turning through the air, or this acrobat is falling through the air. Think about it. What things have you seen tumbling? What things have you seen tumbling? Or you could say, what things have you seen turning and falling? Next group of pictures, what do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice Mario is throwing a fireball. In the next picture, I notice someone it has a string and a ball and is whipping it around in a big circle. And in the third picture, I notice someone has a slingshot and it looks like they're going to fling something into the air with the slingshot. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They all, well, they all show flung, 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 flung. Flung is the past tense for fling, fling, flung, and it means thrown or threw hard, tossed or hurled into the air, flung, thrown or threw hard, tossed or hurled into the air. So a synonym or word that means the same could be hurled or tossed. Flung is the same as hurled or tossed. So when something is flung, it is thrown with force. You could also say when something is hurled, it is thrown with force. Or when something is tossed, it is thrown with force. Think about it. Name sports in which a ball is flung. Which one is your favorite? Or name a sport in which a ball is hurled. Which one is your favorite? Next group of pictures. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a puppy that is all tangled up or wrapped up with their leash that's tied to their collar. In the next picture, I notice an old cassette that has music on it, and the film is coming out of the cassette. And in the next picture, I notice Rapunzel is wrapped around with her long, long hair. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They all, well, they all show tangled. Tangle is the root word, and then tangled, 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 mixed up or twisted together, mixed up or twisted together, tangled. So a synonym or word that means the same could be twisted. These pieces of string are tangled. It is hard to separate. These pieces of string are tangled. It is hard to separate. You could also say these pieces of string are twisted. It is hard to separate. Think about it. Something in your house, name something in your house that can easily get tangled. Name something in your house that can easily get tangled or twisted. Remember, twisted is a synonym for tangled. Next group of pictures. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a lunchbox or some sort of container, and it looks empty or there's nothing in it. In the second picture, I notice a wallet or coin purse, and I don't see anything in the coin purse or wallet. It is empty. In the last picture, I notice a glass or cup, and I don't see anything in it. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They all show empty. Something that is empty. EMPTY, empty. EMPTY, empty. Empty means nothing in it. Unfilled. I have an empty wallet. I have an empty lunchbox. There is nothing in it. It is unfilled. I have an empty glass. So a synonym or word that means the same is unfilled. The opposite of fill is unfilled. This pot is empty. There is nothing in it. This pot is empty. There is nothing in it. You could also say this pot is unfilled. There is nothing in it. Think about it. How can you tell if a box is empty? How can you tell if a box is empty? You could also say, how can you tell if a box is unfilled? Next group of pictures, what do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a person is running very quickly. In the next picture, I notice a speeding car. In the third picture, I notice a roadrunner bird, which I know is very fast. So how are these pictures the same or similar? They all Well, they all show swift. 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 Swift means moved fast, moves fast, can move quickly. Moves fast, can move quickly. So a synonym could be quick. Swift horses move very fast. You could also say quick horses move very fast. Think about it. Why is it helpful to be swift when you play sports? Why is it helpful to be swift when you play sports? You could also say, why is it helpful to be quick when you play sports? Next group of pictures, what do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a girl is in a hammock sleeping soundly. In the next picture, I noticed someone was frustrated, but they were able to calm down and get calm. And in the third picture, I noticed that there's a lot of things that want the man's attention, but he is sitting in the middle, closing his eyes and trying to be calm and focused. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They all, they all show peacefully. So the root word is peaceful, Peacefully, 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 peacefully. Peacefully means calmly, worked happily together, calmly, worked happily together. So a synonym or word that means the same could be calmly. To be calm means to be you are peaceful. These farm animals are sleeping peacefully. Nothing is bothering them. The farm animals are sleeping peacefully. Nothing is bothering them. You could also say the farm animals are sleeping calmly. Nothing is bothering them. Think about it. What are some things that could keep you from sleeping peacefully? Or what are some things that could keep you from sleeping calmly? Next group of pictures. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a small stream or brook. In the next picture, I notice the same thing. It looks like a babbling brook or stream. In the next picture, I notice another small um, river or stream. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They all show stream. 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 Small or narrow body of water, a creek or brook. Small, narrow body of water, a creek or brook. So a synonym or word that means the same could be creek or brook. This stream flows into a larger river. This stream flows into a larger river. Or this brook or creek flows into a larger river. Think about it. If you went hiking, would you rather have to cross a stream or a large rushing river? You could also say, if you went hiking, would you rather have to cross a creek or brook or a large rushing river? Well, the answer to that question is easy. I would rather cross a stream. So, how are these pictures? Oh, wait, what do you notice or see about these pictures? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a blazing fire. It looks like it's been there for a while. In the next picture, I notice the sun with its radiant heat waves coming off of it. In the third picture, I notice a house that is in flames and it is totally engulfed in fire and smoke. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They all Well, they all show blazed, 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 blazed. So, what does blazed mean? Burned brightly and strongly, flamed, burned brightly and strongly, flamed, like the sun flamed. So, a synonym could be flamed, flamed. A forest fire blazed or burned brightly for many hours. A forest fire blazed or burned brightly for many hours. You could also say a forest fire flamed or burned brightly for many hours. Think about it. If a fire blazed near your home, how would you feel about it and why? Or if a fire flamed near your home, how would you feel about it and why? Time to check your work. Number one, tumbling. And another word for tumbling is turning over or falling. Tumbling. And I highlighted those words in yellow. Turning over, falling is the same as tumbling. Number two, flung. Past tense of fling. Flung, thrown or threw hard, tossed or hurled into the air. You could also say hurled. And I highlighted that. Number 3, tangled, mixed up or twisted together. Tangled, mixed up or twisted together. And I highlighted twisted. Number 4, empty, nothing in it. Unfilled, empty, nothing in it. Unfilled. Number 5, swift, moves fast, can move quickly. Swift, moves fast, can move quickly. Number 6, peacefully. Peacefully means calmly or worked happily together. Peacefully means calmly or worked happily together. Number 7, stream, small or narrow body of water, a creek or brook. Stream, small or narrow body of water, a creek or brook. Number 8, blazed, burned brightly and strongly. Blazed, burned brightly and strongly. Another word for blazed could be flamed. Time to reflect at the top of your paper. How well did you hit your learning target? I can use pictures and context clues to help me understand important words from this folk tale, Half Chicken. Would you give yourself a 4? I could teach this lesson. I easily said what I noticed about each group of pictures and how they were the same. Or would you give yourself a 3? I could help others with this. I was able to say what I noticed about most of the pictures and how they were the same. Or would you give yourself a 2? I needed some help with this. I was not able to say what I noticed about some of the pictures and how they were the same. Or would you give yourself a 1? I needed a lot of help with this. I was not able to say what I noticed about any of the pictures or how they were the same. So, how do you think you did today on your vocabulary words? Would you give yourself a 4? I could teach this lesson. 3, I could help others with this. 2, I needed some help with this. Or 1, I needed a lot of help with this. So, write your reflection at the top: 4, 3, 2, and 1. And thank you, everyone, for going over the vocabulary words and pictures with me. Have a great day.